This is something that is very concerning to me. I feel that they're intentional or not intentional. I feel that this order suppresses the availability and the order of justice in relation to these prosecutions. And this goes back to a statement that I've heard in prosecutions stemming out of COVID and in other sister prosecutions that are before the courts. And that is that justice must not only be done, but justice must also seen to be done.
Day 3 of the Coutts Three Trial came to an end today. Marco Van Hugenbos, George Jansen, and Alex Van Herk, the 3 defendants. The news of today is that a publication ban's details were clarified, and they extend across the entirety of proceedings. This is Robert Krajcik reporting for Rebel News. I'm not in Lethbridge right now. I'm over in Fort Macleod. I had to come here to do a quick little interview with one of the defendants. The 3 defendants are being charged with mischief under $5,000 for their involvement in the Coutts blockade of 2022, which was sort of a parallel peaceful demonstration alongside the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa, Ontario. Both demonstrations, both protests, were in broad opposition to what I refer to as the COVID-19 enterprise. You all remember it, a series of edicts, decrees, orders, mandates issued by various levels of government, ostensibly in pursuit of so-called public health in response to COVID-19. Details of the publication ban issued by the judge became more clear today. Initially, we thought the publication ban would expire once the jurors were selected, because it was issued in order to prevent tainting or contamination of the jury pool, to prevent any prospective jurors from having their minds shaped or preemptively directed by news media reports from these preliminary hearings. However, now we know that the publication ban will extend across the entirety of the trial until the jurors are sequestered to begin their deliberations. In other words, the publication ban prohibits any news media reports of the trial's proceedings until the jurors are making up their minds and making their decisions, making their verdict. Now, dear Rebel News audience, please remember that we cannot do this sort of journalism and in-the-field reporting for free. Things cost money. I came in all the way from Ottawa. Yes, I flew economy. Yes, I'm staying in an economy hotel, but still, your contributions allow this sort of journalism to exist. So please take that seriously and please contribute what you can and stay up to date with our ongoing reports by visiting Coutts3.com. I'm here with Marco Van Hugenbos. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Correct.
One of the defendants in the Coutts Three trial. Marco, big news today was just the clarification that this publication ban issued by the judge on the proceedings is not going to expire when the jury is selected, but when the jury is beginning its deliberation, so basically until the end of the trial. Maybe you want to share some remarks on that, your thoughts on that.
Correct. There was some confusion by the defense, the defendants, and even the public, those in the gallery, on the order, the publication order that the justice, that the court put out on Monday morning. And we got some clarity today, and the clarity that we received is that it's a full, broad publication ban on the complete trial from start to finish. This is concerning. I was under the impression that the publication ban was there in relation to pretrial. There's been a Supreme Court ruling that all pretrial applications fall under a publication ban. So we were aware of that. We also heard that on Monday that if there were jury, if there was portions of trial where the jury had to step out for deliberation between Crown and defense and things like that, we understood as well that would fall under a publication ban, because that the juries wouldn't be privy to that, and the last thing we would want is for jurors to be able to hear about this via media or such in between proceedings. But that after jury selection, that there is now a publication ban on this trial after jury selection came as a complete surprise and a bit of a shock. There is a lot of interest in these proceedings. This was a very high-profile event in Alberta the weeks of January and February of 2022, and there is a substantial following that substantial interest in following on this or in adjacent to this prosecution. So that being said, we're in a small courtroom that would not fit the direct family of all three co-accused. Never mind any additional public interest. And I feel that there are times where a publication ban is justified. Prosecutions that involve matters of national security, or matters that involve minors, for the protection of details around minors and their identities. But this is a mischief charge, and sure, there's going to be a lot of details that people will hear for the first time. But what I don't understand is, why would there be a publication ban on details that juries are privy to during the prosecution, during proceedings in the courtroom, and then not allow media or the public or anybody that has the ability to interact with this prosecution and share these details out to the outside the four walls of that courtroom? I don't understand why that would be limited, and why this order, why it's an umbrella order over all proceedings. This is something that is very concerning to me. I feel that they're intentional or not intentional. I feel that this order suppresses the availability and the order of justice in relation to these prosecutions. And this goes back to a statement that I've heard in prosecutions stemming out of COVID and in other sister prosecutions that are before the courts. And that is that justice must not only be done, but justice must also seen to be done. And that's where I feel and that's where I understand and I feel that the publication ban in relation to jury selection and what that all entails, that's an obvious. But after jury selection, I feel that the publication ban should be lifted, and that these proceedings should be publicized to the public and the outside world.
One more final thing. The trial is on hiatus until April 2nd. We'll be back here in Lethbridge, Alberta, to report on its continuation then. Now, folks, please remember that we need your financial support to fund this sort of in-the-field journalism. On my part, I came in from Ottawa, so you guys can chip in to assist in my economy airfare, my economy accommodation, to help us keep doing this. And you can also contribute to the defense fund for the three defendants. And if you do so, you'll be issued a charitable receipt by the Democracy Fund, which is administering this fundraising effort. So please visit Coutts3.com and help us as you can.